is investigating the Clippers' free agent signing of Kawhi Leonard. According to a recent filed lawsuit, the Clippers are being accused of agreeing to funnel money to people near Kawhi in order to convince him to sign with the team. While the lawsuit is pending, the league has decided it's serious enough to take a look themselves. So, Shannon, what do you make of this?
I'm not surprised. Skip, we've heard last year during the recruitment process. Now, Masai Ujiri would not get in and say, look, he's moved on. That's something I don't feel comfortable talking about. Now, it was reported that people close to Kawhi, Uncle Dennis, wanted things.
Dennis Robertson, yep.
That was illegal. It was approached to me, and the Athletic reported that Uncle Dennis wanted the Lakers to guarantee Kawhi part ownership, have a private jet available at all times, a house guarantee amount of off-court endorsement money. Jeannie Buss told him all of that was illegal. Now, Kawhi comes off as quiet. I don't want anything, I just want to hoop. But what we know, that's not true. Kawhi Leonard, behind the scene, quietly recruited Jimmy Butler, KD, and Paul George. It was also that the reason why Trez and Lou Williams had a problem with Kawhi is that he was controlling the practice schedule. He was controlling when he wanted to play in the ball games. They were being held up from travel because he lived in San Diego and he was being late for the team playing. So this notion that Kawhi, he just wants to do, he's the only superstar that I know that don't want anything. And that is a lie, because we see that it's been a lie, and it's been a lie that's been perpetuated because for some reason we like Kawhi. I don't dislike it, but I dislike the narrative that he's so different than all the other superstars. Now, he might not be as charismatic. He might not talk as much, but he understands.
He's not on social media at all.
At all. But he understands the perks that comes along with being a superstar, and he's taking full advantage of it because Toronto allowed him to have his fiancée or significant other and the child on the team playing. That's not conjecture, that's fact. So we're about to find out what's true and what's not true. Now, this gentleman says, hey, I know Uncle Dennis. I can deliver Kawhi to you, and here are some of the things you need to say in order to make this come to fruition. We're about to find that this thing about to get real interesting. It's going to get real interesting, Skip Bayless, and you know it too.
I do. So, Johnny Wilkes, who filed this lawsuit out here in L.A. against Jerry West, the great Jerry West. The logo. Highly regarded and respected.
Very.
And should be. And the suit alleges that Jerry West promised Johnny Wilkes, who, by the way, was a basketball teammate of Uncle Dennis Robertson's when the two of them went to Dorsey High School out here in Los Angeles. So that's how they first knew each other. So it comes across in the lawsuit that Johnny Wilkes was actually the agent for the agent.
Yeah,
because
the liaison.
Yeah, the agent was Uncle Dennis. He represented Kawhi through this whole recruitment process. And I will be the first to acknowledge, and I've said it here on the show, I heard lots of stories, lots of rumors, lots of accusations aimed at Uncle Dennis that he wanted to be a package deal with Kawhi. He also wanted to be taken care of as the agent for Kawhi with his perks. Illegal. Okay. So I have no idea what did or did not transpire in that regard as it pertains to the Clippers. But I will say that Kawhi responded to the lawsuit last night and just shot holes in it and scoffed at it and dismissed it out of hand by saying that Johnny Wilkes and what he alleges had nothing to do with swaying my mind to go somewhere. And he made the point that he grew up, Kawhi did, out here in L.A., obviously in the Riverside area. And out here, people try to find any way to get some money, so he probably won't be the last. I know a lot of people out here, so he is suggesting that it's another sort of hanger-on that had his hand out within the camp, and that maybe he overstepped his bounds to introduce himself, I think it was at a Clippers game, to Jerry West. And I don't know how far Jerry West went along with it. The lawsuit even alleges that Jim Gray.
It better not be no email.
Well, that's the allegation here is that Jim Gray was at a dinner in Beverly Hills as they were closing, or maybe it was just after they closed the deal. I don't know how Jim Gray is very close with Jerry West.
Right. Jim Gray close with a lot of people.
He is. Well, I know. All of a sudden he pops up in the middle of this story. This is the allegation in the lawsuit that at the dinner, Jerry West said, "Hey, Jim, will you get Johnny Wilkes' email?" And you guys go back and forth about what he needs, what he wants. So, if that's true, then there is some email. Okay, somewhere, somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, unless it gets purged. It's probably already purged, but we'll see. So, again, it all reverts back. It's not so much about Johnny Wilkes' allegations. It reverts back to Uncle Dennis because that's the guts of the story is what did he get or not get?
But Skip,
I thought they already investigated this.
I don't think, Skip, I just think the thing is there's too many, Skip, where there's some smoke, there had to be fire at some point in time. There are too much rumblings from teams that said, this is what he needed, and this is what he wanted, and this is what he...
Philadelphia was also on that list of, no, we're out.
Okay, so Jeannie Buss said this is illegal what you're asking. Masai Ujiri says, I don't really care to talk about it.
Josh Harris, the Philly owner. Also.
Yes. So, Skip, that's three. And so now we got a guy that has nothing to do with any of those, but then now this brings the Clippers into the mix. One is a one-off. Say, you know what? Okay, fine. But Skip, you can't have 4, 5, 6, or 7, and then all of a sudden say, just sweep this under the rug because, oh man, Kawhi's quiet. But Skip, what we know and what we've heard and what we've seen, Kawhi is like a lot of other superstars. He just moves a lot quieter. That doesn't mean he's not any more of a superstar any less, but he wants things that superstar gets. And, you know, hey, if I'm an agent, if you go, Skip, Bomber's worth $70 billion. What's $100 million? Let's just say for the sake of argument, Skip.
I completely agree with this.
What's $100 million to get Kawhi? And not to be second fiddle for the rest for perpetuity.
Agreed.
Because if you don't get Kawhi, y'all not on TV like y'all. You can get Paul George. You can get 5 Paul George. You can get Paul George, Boy George, and any other George.
Okay. So what shocked me when I first read about this was, wait a second, we have a member of the inner circle filing suit against the chief advisor of the team Kawhi plays for.
Yes.
So all of a sudden, and I think he just became a former member of the inner circle, right? He's got an axe to grind with the team that Kawhi plays for. So this is going to be hard on Kawhi. This is a huge distraction.
Man, just get that man a share out of game. Hey, Steve, this thing is about to come. It's called a nuisance. Just get him just to go away. You find somebody say, well, here's as a matter of fact, here's $4 million.
Yeah, but if you settle it, you incriminate yourself,
Skip,
right? That's illegal.
No, I'm not admitting to anything. Big tobacco companies do that all the time. Police departments, they settle lawsuits, don't admit guilt all the time. But you could have found something, Skip.
I know, but it's not like he was damaged. He just didn't get paid what he alleges that he was promised.
And to keep this, Skip, because now what do you have happen? You know there are going to be certain segments that believe this actually happened. That's how it works.
Well, the bottom line is they could be fined and they could lose draft picks.
What draft pick? They ain't got none until 2027.
Well, they could lose that one.
So you find Steve Ballmer $10 million. The dude worth $71 billion. He got that in his back pocket.
I just hope Kawhi can get his head clear in time for Tuesday night.
You do realize, Skip, that Steve Ballmer could buy every NBA team and still have like 10, 12 billion left over.
And by the way, he just got voted from the insiders, the best, they call them governors now, right? The best governor. They're no longer owners. That got changed. They're called governors. So he's voted the best.
For what? Because he got Microsoft technology all through the building. He got the most money to do all that.
Well, it's because of your point. Whatever.
y'all.